broken clock on the back wall, counting down till the last bell rings. You lock the door with the plastic smile, say this is just our little secret thing. Ink stains on my test paper, your hand leaning where it shouldn't be. You twist the rules like a gold ring, say it's love, say it's meant to be. Leave the kids alone, you're not a savior, you're a thief of home. Predator in school clothes, life in a cage is a place you go. See ya, Chomo, see ya, Chomo. We need justice, not a whisper, sorry, go. Leave the kids alone, leave the kids alone. You hide behind a chalk halo, fake men are on a crooked throne. They call you ma'am, they call you sir, you use that power, strip us to the bone. Female face, male face, same crime, same cold eyes when the door clicks shut. Courtroom shrug, they were almost grown. Light little sentence, deep little cut. Leave the kids alone, you're not a savior, you're a thief of home. Predator in school clothes, life in a cage is a place you go. See ya, Chomo, see ya, Chomo. Need justice, not a whisper, sorry, go. Judge with a tired handshake, gave her falls like it's half awake. You get years, we can count on hands. We get scars, we can't understand. Names on a list, they move you towns. Paper walls, you still prowl around. Kids in rows like loaded guns. You pull the trigger, then you run. Leave the kids alone, you're not a savior, you're a thief of home. Predator in school clothes, life in a cage is a place you go. See ya, Chomo, see ya, Chomo. We need justice, not a whisper, sorry, go. Leave the kids alone, leave the kids alone, leave the kids alone.
Content warning. The following video contains material that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Did you ever think that you would be running for sheriff?
No. This is not a calculated step I've taken my entire life to get here.
Aaron Spencer made national headlines when he launched his campaign to run for sheriff of Lono County, Arkansas. That's because he's also charged with second-degree murder.
Thank you, man. When's your court date? Sorry, not till later this spring.
While he's pleaded not guilty, Spencer readily admits to shooting and killing 67-year-old Michael Fosler, his teenage daughter's alleged sexual abuser. At the time of the shooting, Fosler was awaiting trial on dozens of charges, including sexual assault and internet stalking of a child, and had a no-contact order against Spencer's daughter. Ahead of his own trial, Spencer is advised by his lawyer to not discuss his case, but his wife previously said they thought their daughter had been kidnapped that night on October 8, 2024.
It was the middle of the night when Spencer and his wife discovered that their daughter was missing, and court documents show he jumped in his truck to go looking for her, eventually finding her in this area right here. She was with Fosler, and this is also where the confrontation took place.
According to court documents, Spencer said he observed his daughter trying to exit Fosler's vehicle, but it appeared Fosler grabbed her and stopped her. Spencer said Fosler then exited his vehicle with an unknown object in his hand and lunged at him, and that's when he opened fire. His wife saying, "We 100% in the moment thought he had taken her to kill her because she was the only witness in Fosler's upcoming trial."
And your daughter specifically, how's she doing?
Things can be a little bit of a roller coaster at times. I think that's anybody who's dealt with trauma.
Just over a year from that night,
I'm announcing my candidacy to run for Lonoke County Sheriff.
When you decide to do this, you already are facing charges.
It was a very big decision, and it was a family decision.
What was her reaction?
And they were like, "You're crazy, right? You know, that's wild. Why would we do this?" Honestly, I think I was like a lot of other people where we didn't fully pay attention to what was happening in our local communities, the ramification and impact that these types of elections have at the home front here.
running against Spencer on the Republican ticket is longtime incumbent John Staley.
I'm John Staley, your Lonoke County Sheriff.
He's also the sheriff who oversaw Spencer's arrest.
I don't think Aaron Spencer's a bad person. I think that he was trying to protect his child, and there's a lot more to this case that I can't even release, that we've found, that we've worked on.
How is this case just sort of, and the fact that he is running for sheriff, impacted this community, in your opinion?
A lot of people are just saying, I would do what he did. I don't blame him. And although I can understand why people feel that way, you've got to separate your feelings when you're a law enforcement officer.
To think you can just take the law into your own hands like that and then still think you can run for sheriff, it's just weird.
What do you say to those people who are like, oh, he's just doing this to help his criminal trial?
No, it definitely hasn't made anything easier. I did what any good father would do, to save and protect their child.
He doesn't have any law enforcement background. That doesn't bother you?
Not one bit. No, he does not.
When I was 5 or 6 years old, it was the first time I was molested. And that's why I want Aaron Spencer to stop things like that from happening.
There were women there who were victims themselves of sexual assault.
We've been hearing
you're the
that,
reason.
Yeah, all year. All year. They have been reaching out to us.
Are you prepared for all scenarios in your future?
I would be lying to say I wasn't stressed or anything like that. And I think if you're going into office and you're not scared about it, or you're dealing with a trial and you're not a little scared about it, I think that's definitely the wrong behavior and attitude and thought process to have.
The convicted sex offender at the center of a statewide controversy will be in Placer County Court again today. 64-year-old David Allen Funston was in jail for over 20 years after being convicted of multiple sex crimes involving children back in 1999. A state parole board approved Funston's release late last year, but last month, the Placer County District Attorney's Office filed a new case just a day before Funston was expected to be released. His new charge stems from the alleged sexual assault of a young child in Roseville in 1996. He's being held right now without bail. If convicted, he could face another 8 years in prison.
A case that's taken years to work through the courts, it ends with a long prison sentence for the mother of two in Papillion.
A jury convicted her of sexually assaulting young boys during sleepovers at her home and then pressuring them not to talk about it. Our Brian Mastery sat through the sentencing in Sarpy County District Court today. He joins us live in studio. And Brian, this woman is going to prison for a long time.
She is, Sharon. The state asked for a lengthy sentence. The judge agreed. He gave the defendant 64 years as a minimum sentence, 102 years maximum. 3 years ago, Christina Greer made her first court appearance in Sarpy County. Now she's headed to state prison for what may be the rest of her life. The 38-year-old will be in her 80s by the time she's eligible for parole.
Even today, felt like she didn't own up to what actually happened. She's continued to deny that any kind of sexual act took place with any of the victims throughout the entire process from when she was arrested up until today.
In March, a jury found her guilty of 11 charges, most serious, sexual assault of young boys who came to her Papillion home for weekend sleepovers with her own children. Investigators say she gave them marijuana edibles and alcohol and had sex with boys who were 12 and 13 at the time.
Having sex with an adult female is kind of thought of, that's the cool kid of the group, and that's just not the case in these kind of situations. Usually, like you said, he gets bullied. He transferred schools multiple times. So it's just something that it's just unfortunate for him to have to continue to deal with.
In court today, Christina Greer sobbed through her statement, saying she's so ashamed and sorry for what happened, and that as a mom, it's her duty to protect her children, saying she failed. Judge George Thompson said she violated their trust, took their innocence, and left a, quote, wake of destruction in their path.
What she did is grooming behavior. She formed emotional relationships with these kids to take advantage of them.
Christina Greer's attorney told the court he thought 15 years was the appropriate sentence. Clearly, the judge disagreed. Again, Greer will be in her early 80s by the time she's eligible for parole. John.
We're going to head down to Florida. Police officer convicted of the rape and murder of an 11-year-old girl nearly 40 years ago is scheduled to be executed by lethal injection later this month. James Aaron Duckett, a 68-year-old, is scheduled to be put to death at the Florida State Prison on March 31st. Governor Ron DeSantis signed a death warrant on Friday, and it was the 5th death warrant that DeSantis has signed this year and the 3rd execution that's scheduled for March. See ya, Chomo.
Now back here in the Valley, a former Henderson assistant principal pleading guilty to child endangerment charges. His student recorded him reportedly trying to groom her into a sexual relationship. 8 News Now education reporter Joshua Peguero breaks down the case.
Howard Hughes was an assistant principal at Del Webb Middle School until these audio recordings brought police knocking to his door.
I can't believe I was that close to some things were happening inside of me. Got me excited. Damn, you dangerous.
Hughes was arrested in Texas in March of 2024, accused of trying to leave the country. Last April, a Clark County grand jury indicted Howard Hughes on several charges, but on Tuesday he accepted a plea deal on accusations he tried luring an 8th grader into sex. According to court documents, Hughes pleaded guilty to 1 count of contact or attempt to contact minor by person or authority for the purpose of criminal activity, and another count of child abuse, neglect, or endangerment. He faces a minimum of 1 year in prison for each charge.
If people wasn't out there right now, I would hug you so tight and might even kiss you.
Clark County School Police say a student told investigators her relationship with Hughes lasted for 5 months. It began in October of 2023 when he invited her into his office for personal and mental health problems. I previously spoke to the victim's father.
It sickens me. No child should ever go through that. It sickens me to my core.
Hughes, in the recordings, was captured recommending she download WhatsApp so they can conceal the relationship and saying in Thailand the age of consent was 15. Court documents say prosecutors won't oppose him serving his sentence concurrently, meaning he could only serve a year in prison. Reporting in Henderson, Joshua Peguero, 8 News Now.
Now, court documents say Howard Hughes would have to register as a sex offender for an unspecified period of time. According to the Nevada Department of Education, he still has an active administrator license.
There's been a split decision in the child sex trial of former Pittwater MP Rory Amon, who was today cleared on 8 of 10 charges. With the jury deadlocked on the other 2, prosecutors must now decide whether to pursue the 36-year-old for a second time.
For 2 years, former politician Rory Amon fought to clear his name. But today, a partial victory. Acquitted of 8 charges of indecent and sexual assault of a child under the age of 14. But on 2 further accounts, the jury couldn't decide. Do you think your name has been cleared? Amon was arrested in 2024 and immediately quit as the state Liberal MP for Pittwater. The allegations dating back to 2017. Amon was 27 years old, running for the Northern Beaches Council and using a fake profile on hookup apps. He began speaking to a 13-year-old boy over Snapchat before it was alleged they met twice in this underground bathroom. Is there anything you'd like to say after all of this? Throughout the trial, the former MP said the victim told him he was 17. The victim insisted he told him he was 15. After 3 days of deliberating, the jury delivered a hung verdict on 2 counts, not convinced that Amon was aware the child was underage. As for the other 8 counts relating to the second meeting, he was found not guilty. Mr. Amon, do you feel like you've won? Rory Amon gave his barrister a hug and breathed a sigh of relief after his decision was handed down here this afternoon. But that relief could be short-lived as he awaits a decision on whether there'll be a retrial. That decision expected in the coming days. Massilia Eiley, 9 News.
New at noon, a child porn arrest in Denison. 25-year-old Zachary Turner is accused of sharing child porn through social media. Authorities say he was identified through a cyber tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. He was arrested at his home on West Munson in Denison and booked into the Grayson County Jail. His bond is set at $200,000.
Idaho, a 59-year-old Canyon County man is facing felony charges for distributing child sexual abuse material after a multi-agency investigation. On Tuesday, March 3rd, the Idaho Internet Crimes Against Children's Unit arrested 59-year-old Kelly Beavers. Attorney General Raul Labrador announced today the arrest was made in partnership with the Caldwell Police Department, Meridian Police Department, as well as the Canyon County Sheriff's Office. Every arrest the ICAC unit makes removes another threat from our streets and brings us closer to ensuring children can grow up safe from exploitation. The law enforcement partnerships in all of our communities make it possible to swift action when children are at risk, and we're grateful for every agency that shares our commitment to protecting our children. Beavers faces 3 counts of possessing child sexually abusive material. His preliminary hearing has been set for March 18th at 8:30 in the morning.
Professor at Virginia Tech been sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. U.S. Attorney's Office says 51-year-old Michael Horning pled guilty to possession of child pornography. Officials say he had hundreds of images and videos when his electronic devices were seized in 2021. Tech says that Horning resigned from his role last September.
A former West Tallahatchie substitute teacher will spend 25 years in prison after being convicted of child sex crimes. Investigators say Jacqueline Moore of South Haven was found guilty of sexual battery by a person in a position of trust and child exploitation. She'll serve 15 years in custody and 10 years of post-release supervision and must register as a sex offender.
Tracking crime tonight, a former professor at James Madison University charged with possession of child pornography last year will spend less than 3 years in prison. According to online court records, William Van Norman, who was once an associate professor of history at JMU until his arrest last May, was sentenced to 15 years behind bars during a January 22nd hearing in Charlottesville Circuit Court. This after pleading guilty to 2 counts related to possession of that lewd material. However, the judge suspended all but 2 years and 9 months of that sentence. Van Norman will also serve 2 years of probation following his release.
Sean Burke, a 37-year-old of Bristol Township, was sentenced today to 10 to 25 years in state prison after pleading guilty to multiple felony charges related to the sexual assault and corruption of 2 minor victims. The sentencing before Common Pleas Judge Stephen A. Core follows an investigation by the Bristol Township Police Department and subsequent prosecution by the Bucks County District Attorney's Office. Based on his guilty plea, Burke will be subject to lifetime supervision underneath Pennsylvania's Megan's Law. Burke pleaded guilty to involuntary deviant sexual assault of a person under 16 years of age, and 2 counts each of photographing, filming, or depicting a child on a computer engaged in a sexual act, corruption of minors, indecent assault of a person less than 16 years of age, and possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance. During the sentencing hearing, Chief Deputy District Attorney Kristen McElroy presented powerful victim impact statements that detailed the extensive and long-lasting trauma caused by the defendant's actions. One victim, identifying herself as a survivor of physical, sexual, and mental abuse, described how Burke stole her youth and innocence, exposing her to hard drugs at a very young age and manipulated her into silence. The statements further described the severe psychological toll in the crimes that took on the young victims. The second young victim explained that her whole perspective on life has changed since that abuse, leaving her grappling with depression, PTSD, and crippling fear.
on the dark web. Ubasa was a master puppeteer, sort of say. But in reality, his day-to-day life, somebody living in basically the squalor, and yet here's this couple $1,000 machine running the abuse of 10,000 or more, child victims.
This is Labassa, the man responsible for 5 of the largest child abuse forums on the dark web. He was arrested at his home in Brazil in 2019. We need to blur his face in line with Brazilian law.
O nível da cozinha está muito pior. É difícil descrever. Você tem que chegar aqui para ver e cheirar.
The seizure of his servers marked the team's largest dark web data capture ever.
He was a young guy, under 30 years old. The type of person we are arresting are now getting younger and younger. More often working in the IT field, web developer, software engineer. That's a skill set that we never saw even 10 years ago. They spend 40, 50, 60 hours online. This was life for this guy.
Labassa was sentenced to 266 years. Data harvested from his servers provided thousands of leads to locate and arrest members of his network.
New at 5, and now former Hidalgo County detention officer is facing a sexual assault of a child charge. Sebastian Rodriguez is 19 years old. FAR police arrested him yesterday. We are working to find out details about the accusation against him, and we'll keep you posted. The sheriff's office says Rodriguez lost his job after his arrest.
Indicating you understand the registration requirements. How did you explain this to him? Sir, how far did you go?
Over to Springfield, Massachusetts. A man from Adams was sentenced to more than 2 decades in prison after pleading guilty to child exploitation. According to prosecutors, between July of 2016 and December of 2016, 38-year-old Brian Warner convinced a minor to engage in sexually explicit conduct for the purpose of producing child sexual abuse material. He was arrested in May of last year after hundreds of CSAM images were allegedly found on multiple devices in Warner's possession. Brian Warner of Adams was sentenced to prison the way that he should be, courtesy of the Berkshire County District Attorney's Office. See ya, Chomo. Oh yeah, by the way, 28 years worth of see ya.
Seymour man is in jail for multiple charges involving a child. Court records show deputies with the Knox County Sheriff's Office arrested Paul Priest Jr. on Friday. He is charged with rape of a child, aggravated sexual battery, and attempted rape of a child. Multiple sources also confirmed that Priest was the winner of a Netflix nature survival competition show. That show was called Outlast and featured him during the first season. He is currently being held in the Knox County Jail with a $150,000 bond.
The suspect tried to grab the child and pulled her, and she kicked him off.
Those frightening moments there in a Wichita neighborhood today as police arrested a man who tried to abduct an 8-year-old girl before she was able to break free. This all happened shortly after 11:20 in the morning in the 600 block of North Gordon out in West Wichita. The person who called police said the young girl had left the home when a 27-year-old man approached her and then grabbed her. She was able to get away and then run to her grandparents, who then called 911. Officers arrested the suspect and booked him for aggravated kidnapping and child abuse. Today we spoke to neighbors in the area who say they will not let their kids play in the front yard unless they can watch them.
Like I said, I've been in this house for 4 years now, and it's been a relatively quiet neighborhood, and for this to happen, it's just really, really scary, knowing that you can't even have your kids outside and without, somebody trying to do something.
And the Exploited and Missing Children Unit is continuing to investigate.
Tonight, a judge has added more prison time to the sentence for a serial child molester who abused victims at a Redmond church. Buckland Darrell was allowed to be around children at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, even after members raised concerns to church leadership about his behavior. He was previously sentenced to nearly a decade in prison for child molestation, but another victim came forward to police, leading to this latest case. Buckland Darrell appeared back in King County Superior Court for sentencing, a judge tacking on 51 more months to his prison sentence for abusing children in his ward of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Redmond. This latest case bringing the total number of victims Darrell abused to 6, though investigators have said they believe there may be more.
All I have to say is that my goal going forward is just to make sure that nothing like this can ever happen in my life again. You know, I'm sorry for any pain I've caused anyone, and I never want to harm or cause any pain to anyone again. So that's my focus from now on.
Charging documents say the abuse happened between 2016 and 2022. But in 2020, police were called to the church during a service after witnesses said they saw Darrell groping a young boy in the chapel. At the time, Redmond police said there wasn't enough evidence to charge him. Investigators say Darrell was continually given access to children at the church, attending Cub Scout meetings where he would bring his camera and take pictures of the children. And ward members had reported that he had a, quote, fixation on children. Darrell was sentenced to 8 years in prison last year for charges stemming from 5 victims. With the 6th case now resolved, he will spend at least 12 years in prison.
That you had gained their trust and you took advantage of that trust by molesting the victim in this case.
Darrell is in the King County Jail but is expected to be transferred soon to the state prison. He will undergo sex offender rehabilitation while there. When he is eventually released, he will remain under state supervision for the rest of his life.
Kentucky. A former Jefferson County public schools teacher found guilty of sexually abusing children was sentenced Monday. Christopher Morris was arrested in June of 22 and charged with 38 counts of child sexual abuse, including sexual abuse of a minor and sodomy, after police said he sexually abused 2 teenagers. And at the time, Morris was employed with the JCPS and was a coach for a traveling amateur athletic union basketball team. Police said the crimes happened between August of 2012 and May of 22, with one victim who was underneath 13 years old and another victim under 18. In court on January 9th, the jury found Morris guilty on all charges and recommended the maximum sentence on each charge. Morris then was sentenced Monday to serve 70 years in prison. This was Morris's second trial in this case. In August of last year, a judge declared a mistrial when a witness referred to a possible 3rd victim, despite the trial only focusing on 2 victims. I wonder if that 3rd one will ever get prosecuted.
Developing now at 5, a retired police captain is behind bars tonight. Peter Benedict is facing child pornography charges after police say they found images on his home computer. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gordon Lash.
And I'm Lisa Sylvester. Channel 11 learned before his retirement from the Brighton Township Police Department, he had roles within the Beaver Area School District. And Channel 11's Nicole Ford joins us live outside the Beaver County Jail with more on this disturbing story. Nicole.
Well, Gordon, Lisa, the community members that we talked to were shocked to find out that a former police captain had been arrested on child pornography charges. And like you just said, that's not all. He actually filled in as an interim school resource officer at a Beaver elementary school.
I was actually shocked because I've known him for a very long time. I was in shock. I just didn't know what to do. The community's probably in shambles because he was part of the community.
Residents in Brighton Township had few words following the arrest of former police captain Peter Benedict. The Attorney General's office charged him with nearly a dozen counts of child pornography, saying a cyber tip traced the images back to his home computer.
It's deceitful. And as a police officer, you shouldn't be deceitful to your community.
Detectives served a search warrant at his home, discovering more images of children in sexual positions under the age of 10. When asked about the images, the complaint says The actor indicated that he didn't believe they were children, adding in, quote, "My honest opinion, don't really seem bad."
I truly believe that when you get sworn in, you are taking that oath to protect and serve and to carry that out after you are done as a police officer to still set that standard for the community.
Benedict retired from the force in 2023, but filled in as an interim school resource officer for 4 months at the end of 2022 at Dutch Ridge Elementary School. He also worked as a DARE officer for years. The Beaver area superintendent put out a statement today stating in part, quote, "We understand that news like this can be upsetting to our families and staff, particularly those who may remember his time in our district. While we cannot comment on the details of an ongoing investigation, we are committed to maintaining a safe, trusting environment for all students and staff."
To end a career on that note is it's scary. It's scary that it's happening in a beautiful community like Beaver.
A Mecklenburg County detention officer finds himself on the other side of the law, charged with possession of child porn.
Police are saying that this man, Clinton Williams, is out of jail tonight and suspended from his job. Today, Eyewitness News reporter Ken Lemon spoke with investigators and the suspect's neighbors to learn more.
They were taken back by the turn of events. As you mentioned, he's out of jail and he had to feel a little out of place as he showed up in court today along with the other defendants to be assigned a new court date. He worked here at the jail as a detention officer, and yesterday police showed up at his house to charge him to arrest him on child sex charges. No one answered the door at Clinton Williams' home in West Charlotte. One neighbor told me he's one of the reasons why she moved to the Rapids at Belmead subdivision. She heard several officers lived here. She talked to us, but didn't want to show her face.
We were told that it's one of the safest neighborhoods in the area.
We told her that yesterday. Charlotte police searched Williams' home. They say they had information that the man who worked 9 years at the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office owned and shared illegal images of children online.
Definitely very uncomfortable. I don't like the thought of him living 2 doors down, especially knowing that there's kids on the same street.
Police say they got a tip from officers in Cabarrus County, but they would not say how their cyber crimes unit obtained information that helped them get a search warrant. They did say it didn't matter that Williams worked in law enforcement.
This won't be tolerated. We're not going to put up with it. And we're glad to have identified this individual because he was working in the law enforcement community. And that's not the type of people we want to work with.
They say his arrest should be a warning to everyone else.
We're coming for you.
Operation by an online activist group prompting questions about tactics. Now, earlier this week, we told you that charges had been thrown out for a case in Westmoreland County. Channel 11's Kara Sapita covers Washington County for us and spoke to the DA about the difficulties handling these cases. Kara.
Lisa, the district attorney told me today that he has had to turn away cases like this because of state law here in Pennsylvania. In this case, the head of an online group that hunts child predators came to Washington County, and he ended up meeting up with the man behind this plaza behind me. And this week, Peters Township Police charged that man. He's now facing child pornography charges.
And this is a minor that we're talking about, I intercepted. You all right?
This is a Facebook Live video of a sting conducted by an online group when they confronted a man behind a Peters Township plaza back in November. The group is one of many that have popped up in recent years, civilians pretending to be underage kids online, and then they track down the predators.
Hey, how we doing, officer?
In many cases, prosecutors are not able to take these child predator stings to court. In Pennsylvania, you have to be a law enforcement officer when working undercover to catch a predator.
We're difficult to prosecute because the law in Pennsylvania doesn't allow a civilian to act in that manner.
And he was telling me that he had some child porn in his phone that he needed to get rid of.
Investigators say none of what that online group found will hold up in court. However, the child pornography police discovered on his phone will, and Jones was arrested. Earlier this week in Westmoreland County, a case went to court. Troopers said the suspect confessed to sending sexually explicit photos and messages to a girl he believed was 9 or 10 years old. The judge threw out the case. Walsh said he's had to turn away cases as well.
Yes, we've had them. Other counties, as you saw, Westmoreland judge. It's the law in Pennsylvania doesn't allow evidence to come in under certain circumstances.
Walsh said they have a unit dedicated to catching predators. He understands why groups trying to catch them exist, but advises people to just give any evidence straight to police.
Understand that they have their hearts in the right places, and nobody wants child predators out there. We can all agree with that, but the best circumstance would be to alert law enforcement if anybody has those types of suspicions or has that type of, any type of evidence, to alert law enforcement, not take it into your own hands.
Reporting in Peters Township, Kara Sapida, Channel 11 News.
Okay, well, if this guy looks familiar, there's a reason for it. It's Arkansas here. Former reality TV star Josh Duggar was sentenced Wednesday to about 12 and a half years in prison after he was convicted of receiving child sexual abuse material. Duggar was also convicted of possessing child sexual abuse material in December, but the U.S. District Judge Timothy Brooks dismissed that conviction after ruling that under federal law, it was an included offense in the receiving charge. Prosecutors had asked U.S. District Judge Timothy Brooks to give the maximum term of 20 years to Duggar, do-gooder, whatever you want to call him, whose large family was the focus of the Learning Channel's 19 Kids and Counting. They argued in a pre-sentencing court filing that Duggar has had a deep-seated, pervasive, and violent sexual interest in children. The judge sentenced Duggar to 12 years and 7 months in prison, one day after denying a defense motion to overturn the guilty verdict on grounds of insufficient evidence and to order a new trial. We don't think so, Duggar.
In St. Landry Parish, a Eunice man has been arrested and charged with sex crimes involving children and animals. 59-year-old Jed Corville is charged with over 200 counts of pornography involving juveniles and over 100 counts of sexual abuse of an animal. Corville was booked into the St. Landry Parish jail. Bond details were not released.
A convicted sex offender is back behind bars after officials found his unregistered social media accounts. Thursday, police arrested 27-year-old Antonio Scaffy for violating Missouri sex offender registration laws. A compliance check revealed Scaffy had accounts on Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, and Instagram that had not been reported as required by law. Scaffy was originally booked when he was 18 years old back in 2016 for having sex with a 13-year-old.
So, new at noon, a fugitive who's been on the run for nearly 6 years was just found and arrested in Pueblo. According to the U.S. Marshals Service, Robert Hartsock was wanted out of Indiana for failing to register as a sex offender and violating probation. He was previously convicted of child seduction and sexual battery, but after his sentencing in 2019, he fled to Indiana without permission. On Monday, a task force located and arrested him on 10th Street in Pueblo. Officials say he'd been living undetected in southern Colorado for years after first relocating to Rye. He's now in custody in Pueblo, awaiting extradition back to Indiana.
Authorities in San Luis Obispo and the FBI are renewing their call for public assistance in locating Eric Christian Mahler, a convicted child molester who has been a fugitive for over 2 decades. Mahler was originally convicted in December of 2002 on 2 counts of lewd acts with a child, involving a victim he was entrusted to care for between 1997 and 2000. Despite his conviction, Mahler was released on bail pending his sentencing, and subsequently failed to appear for his court date on March 18th of 2003, prompting a massive federal manhunt that continues to this day. Mahler is described as a white male, 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing approximately 140 pounds with blonde or brown hair and blue eyes. He has several distinguishing physical marks, most notably a 3-inch birthmark of his lower back, on his lower back, and distinct tattoos, a fallen angel on one upper arm, and an indigenous person sitting on a horse on the other. Having been sentenced in absentia to 10 years in state prison, he now faces additional federal charges for unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. As of March of this year, Mahler remains on the FBI's most wanted list for crimes against children, and officials believe he may be using his background in the aviation fuel business to maintain employment while in hiding. Community members and viewers are urged to remain vigilant, as Mahler is considered a high-priority fugitive with deep ties to California. Anyone with information regarding his current whereabouts is encouraged to contact the FBI.
A Skycomish School District staff member accused of raping a student is now behind bars. King County Sheriff's deputies arrested that man this week at the Skycomish K-12 school. He's now facing child rape charges. The district only has one building, 9 teachers, and 52 students total. That's according to the National Center for Education Statistics. We reached out to the district, but have not yet heard back.
Here's the details that we're getting just into our newsroom. A Tyler man behind bars after the Texas Office of Attorney General's Human Trafficking Unit said he tried to hire an officer working undercover as a 15-year-old girl for sex. So on your screen now is 31-year-old Christopher Stevens. He's from Tyler. He was held just earlier today at the Smith County Jail on a $300,000 bond on a warrant charging him with solicitation of a prostitute under 18. So court records state that Stevens, already a convicted sex offender, attempted to hire what he believed to be a 15-year-old girl for sex during a 3-day undercover operation online. Now, an affidavit for Stevens' arrest claims that he responded to a commercial sex advertisement posted by an undercover officer with the Texas Office of the Attorney General and exchanged messages with that officer discussing age and a few other topics as well. Stevens made detailed arrangements for the girl to travel by bus from Abilene to Tyler, writing that he would pick her up at the station. And then the details go on and on according to this affidavit. I don't want to get into too much of the intense details, but we do have that up on our website. Meantime, officers attempted to arrest Stevens at a bus station on East Oakwood Street in Tyler, but he never appeared, according to the affidavit. State troopers arrested Stevens Monday, according to jail records. Charged with a second-degree felony, Stevens potentially faces up to 20 years in prison and a fine of up to $10,000 if convicted.
Gang member is under arrest for aggravated sexual assault of a child. According to the Zapata County Sheriff's Office, investigators say they took Andres Perez Jr. into custody on March 6 after an investigation led to a warrant for his arrest. Perez was arrested and taken to the Zapata County Regional Jail while waiting for the case to go to court. The Sheriff's Office is asking anyone with information about criminal activity to contact their Criminal Investigations Division.
U.S. Marshals with a warrant, come to the door. U.S. Marshals, come to the door.
Back door open.
U.S. Marshals with a warrant, come to the door. We will break it.
Camera back here. Camera right there.
U.S. Marshals with a warrant. How's that? Come on out. Hello. Come on outside. Is your son here, ma'am?
No.
Okay, when was the last time you saw him?
It's been 6 months.
This is where he's registered. So we're going to have to search and find him, okay?
Whatever.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else in the house?
No, just me.
All right, thank you. John, it's the U.S. Marshals. We're here to collect on your warrant, buddy. Where you at? Come out with your hands up.
After 4 months on the run, U.S. Marshals finally closed in on a multi-state fugitive, a convicted sex offender who had vanished without a trace. Though his mother claimed he wasn't there, the Marshals knew she was lying. However, what they didn't know was that finding him would be much harder than they imagined.
John, U.S. Marshals, we're here on your warrant. Come on out. You got it? Yeah. Clear. Let's get here. Clear. Oh, it's glued. Never mind. She's chewing. She chewed? Clear. Snap. Here we go. Man, trap. Yeah.
Hold that for me if you would. Is it open?
It's open now. Yeah, we're good. It was underneath this rug right here.
Yeah, okay.
Let me get it here.
Let's just send the dog into the crawl space. Do that. Cover it back up.
We can.
Or just let it be.
Right. John, if you're under there, we're going to send the dog in. John, if you're under there, we're going to send the dog in. Check this door. We're not the only one, but it's,
Was all this up here?
come out of there.
I don't see any crawl space. Well, there's a small one over here. Same way over here, it's got plywood, but it's anchored in with little bitty vents.
Yeah, there's another attic access right above that, but it looks like it's all one continuous space. Only thing I see is there's another attic access right there. It's like right on the other side of that, actually. Water heater. You're clear, go ahead.
There's a board going up in the attic, but not enough room, nobody get in it. But there's a door right here leading to this room, but it stops right here. Did we check these cabinets?
I think that's what Steve's out there doing. Three phones here.
The marshals turned the house upside down. Every room had been checked, every corner cleared, yet John was nowhere to be found. But just when it seemed the search would come up empty, they discovered that he'd been hiding in the most unsuspecting place all along.
Come out of there right now! Let go of the f***ing blame! Come out!
Let's go!
Come out!
Let's go! Get out!
Get out!
Get out!
Come on!
Get out!
Give us hands! Give us hands! Give me the other hand!
Okay, hold on.
Other hand!
Okay, hold on.
Got him in custody.
Calm down.
Oh,
calm down.
What's in your hand?
Give me your hands! Put your hands behind your back!
Calm down. I don't have nothing. Oh, damn.
Stand up.
Got about a 3-foot mirror in there, 3 foot by 3 foot, right on the wall, and Jamie pulled it, and he got a damn industrial stainless steel handle. He was hiding in the wall. He was trying to hold the damn mirror back shut. Yeah, go ahead and check it out. Yeah. Jamie said I pulled on that mirror and I could see his arm come out.
You got in there. There's a mirror. You see it? That's what I'm going. And I'm looking at it. I'm like,
it's odd.
It's
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Yeah, it's awful.
So I pulled it back, shine my flashlight, and I could see his arm holding that f***ing handle. It's like that wide. All this over an FTA, over DUI?
All this
what? Like, dude, you got you're going to have multiple counts of SOR violation on top of Foxy's.
According to reports, the search for 43-year-old John began after he failed to appear for a court trial in Kentucky in 2024. That failure led to a warrant for bail jumping, as well as another for violating offender registration laws. Meanwhile, in Tennessee, his parole was revoked after he was convicted of evading arrest and aggravated assault, triggering yet another warrant. Over the past few months, deputies repeatedly came to this house searching for him, but each time they asked, his 78-year-old mother insisted she didn't know where he was. But now that John has been found hiding inside the walls of his mother's house, it seems he may not be the only one about to get into trouble.
Ma'am, this is your time to be honest with me. You know he's been here the whole time, right?
You want to stand up? All right, come on, stand up. Let me check you.
I don't have nothing.
Well, you also
didn't want to make yourself known that you were here, so I don't believe much right now.
I get it's your son, and you're trying to protect him, but you need to be honest with me.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
He wasn't here, I guess.
Hey, come on, ma'am. He's got a whole room in there.
Come see. But I ain't got nothing to do with you. Sit down. Sit down. Hey, Mom!
Hey. She don't know you're here, man.
Yeah, she thinks you're in Florida. I'm going to tell you something. Your mom knew you were here. John, your mom knew you were here. She didn't know I'm here. Listen, there's no way in this small of a house that she didn't know you were here, okay?
You know he's been here. Do you realize you can go to jail today?
I said, yeah. I didn't want to do nothing. I was scared.
I know. I get that.
All right, and then your mom, I read her these things, which is concealing a person from arrest. Okay, thank you. And statements of false statements to a federal officer. Okay, she lied to us that you were here. She said she hadn't seen you in months, but you're living here. Okay, there's no way that's possible. She apologized.
I've literally been in and out of here.
Yeah, but she said she hasn't seen you in months. Okay, so she apologized. She acknowledged that that's what she did. That can be a federal felony.
But what ain't right is letting this guy in here, hide in the walls, and you look me in the eye and lie to me. That's what's not right. That's not right.
Now, the wall part, I didn't know nothing about.
You knew he was here, right? Yes or no?
Yeah, when I came...
He's been here the whole time.
Not the whole time, he ain't.
I don't want to charge your mom.
Yeah, she's
right?
80 years old, bro.
Right, I see that. Okay? I see that she loves you, and that's why she lied for you. But you're getting her in trouble, and you're hemming her up with possible felony charges. Okay?
I'm not saying that she knows anything.
You don't have to. She already said she knew. She said she was sorry. I took that. I accept her apology, right? But I'm telling you that you're putting her in a bad situation.
So did he sign your name to some of them open records requests? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no?
I don't know if he done it or Crystal did.
Well, somebody did. It wasn't you?
I don't know.
Okay, then you'll go to jail too.
Why am I going to jail?
Because you're harboring a non-compliant sex offender.
I
That's why.
ain't harboring nobody.
Okay.
This ain't my
You keep
damn
on
house.
lying, that's what you're going to do.
This ain't my house.
So you need to break down and be honest with me.
I'm honest.
She could be charged too.
Did she tell Ben and them they wasn't there? Yeah. I guarantee you, Ben probably going to charge her, ain't he?
She has no defense on harboring a sex offender.
That's right.
As her son.
That's right.
Now, if he just had an FTA.
Right. The SOR.
Okay, we ready for transport then? Yep. All right. We're going to come on up.
Can I get in the house?
No, ma'am, not once he's in custody. I'm sorry. Okay, well, we're going to get you medically checked anyway, so turn around, have a seat. Meds.
Yeah, that's everything that he's currently taking.
Miss Swift, I told you if you didn't be honest with me that you're going to have to go with me, okay? And that's what we're going to do today. You're going to go with me.
My God.
Ma'am, you can't, son or not, you can't hide people out the way y'all been hiding him out. So you can't worry about everybody. You got to do what's right. And you can't just harbor somebody that's not is compliant. I mean, he's a sex offender. They keep a close thumb on them, you know? And you straight up lied to us. I don't know how many times we come out here. You lied to us this morning.
I didn't mean to. I was scared.
Well, I asked you earlier, are you scared of him? And you said no.
No, I'm not scared of him.
Then why are you lying?
John now faces multiple charges across 2 states, with additional federal charges pending through the U.S. Marshals Service. And although his mother was not arrested, she has been cited for harboring a non-compliant offender and has a pending court date. YouTube thinks you'll love the video on screen. Click to watch now.
Broken clock on the back wall, counting down till the last bell rings. You lock the door with the plastic smile, say this is just our little secret thing.